What if the only witness to a crime was a diary? What if the words of a young woman, scribbled in shaky handwriting, became the very evidence that exposed her killer? Tonight, we dive into the haunting case of Elena Marlowe, a 23-year-old whose death was ruled an accident, until her private diary was discovered. And what it revealed shocked an entire community. This is the story of the diary that spoke after death. It was a crisp October evening when the 911 call came in. Neighbors in a brick apartment building on Hawthorne Street reported a loud thud echoing down the stairwell. When first responders arrived, they found Elena Marlowe at the bottom of the stairs, motionless, her head fractured, her hands scraped from what looked like a desperate attempt to break her fall. Police ruled it an accident. Case closed. Another young life, tragically cut short. But Elena's mother knew something wasn't right. Elena was careful, cautious. She didn't drink, didn't take risks. And 2 weeks before her death, Elena had whispered something to her mother that would haunt her forever. "If anything happens to me, don't believe it was an accident." Months later, as her best friend Lila helped pack up Elena's apartment, she noticed something odd: a loose floorboard beneath her desk. Hidden inside was a small leather-bound book, a diary. At first, the entries were innocent: doodles, thoughts about work, her love of poetry. But then the handwriting began to change. Words pressed hard into the paper, smudges where tears had fallen. Elena wrote about a man she referred as AB. "He makes me feel seen. He says I'm special. No one else understands him the way I do." What began as a love story quickly unraveled into something darker. Elena described late-night drives with AB, where he'd take her far out of town. Whispered phone calls at 2 a.m. Promises that one day they'd be together openly. But the relationship had rules. He never took her to dinner in public. He never let her post photos online. He controlled what she wore, who she saw, even what she posted. He says if I really love him, I'll prove I'm loyal. He says accidents happen every day, and if I ever leave, no one will believe me over him. The gifts came too: perfume, jewelry, expensive little tokens. But every gift was wrapped in control. And the more Elena pulled away, the more dangerous AB became. By the summer before her death, she wrote of his car parked outside her building at night, of pounding on her door, of footsteps in the hallway when she was alone. "I think he's watching me. I think he's planning something." Elena's final diary entry was written just 3 days before her death. Her words were shaky, uneven, almost like she knew her time was running out. "I think he's going to do something. If you're reading this, it wasn't an accident. Please, let this book be my voice." And then, she was gone. When her family handed the diary to investigators, the pieces began to fall into place. Phone records matched the dates in her entries and late-night meetings with AB. And the threats she wrote down, word for word, matched texts sent to her phone. So who was AB? Who was this man Elena risked everything for? He wasn't just a boyfriend. He wasn't a stranger. He was Aaron Blake, a dedicated police officer, twice her age. A married father of 2. To the public, he was a protector. But to Elena, he was the man who controlled her every move. And the man who may have pushed her to her death. In court, prosecutors read her diary aloud. Each page was like Elena testifying from beyond the grave. Her fear, her heartbreak, her desperate warnings. Aaron Blake denied it all, painting Elena as unstable, obsessed. But her words spoke louder. They revealed a pattern of control, of threats, of manipulation that ended in tragedy. The jury believed her. Aaron Blake was convicted of second-degree murder. At sentencing, Elena's mother held the diary close to her chest. Through tears, she said, she didn't get to testify. She didn't get to speak. But through her words, she told her story, and it brought her justice. And in that silent courtroom, everyone realized the same truth. Even after death, Elena's voice had not been silenced. This was the diary that spoke after death. A reminder that sometimes, the smallest voice can echo the loudest, even from the grave.